Part 164. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1631. The demons do not treat evil immortals any differently. To them, Terrans are Terrans. Whether they are practicing the law or wandering outside the law, they don't care. Seeing Luo Xianxia, the leader of the Holy Demon tribe, showed no change in their expressions. Holy Demon Clan? If you don't stay on the Holy Demon Star, why did you come to this realm, Master? Luo Xianxia recognized the opponent's race and couldn't help but frown and asked. If it were other demons, he might take action after assessing their strength. But the Holy Demon Clan, he did not dare to act rashly. Because the saint of the Holy Demon tribe is from Nangong Tianli. And Nangong Tianli is not only the southern immortal emperor, but also their evil immortal emperor. Previously, because of Nujiao's relationship, it almost caused a war between the chaotic Star Sea Demon Clan and the southern immortal realm, and even the entire immortal realm. In the end, it ended without any illness. At this time, Luo Xianxia faced the people of the Holy Demon Clan and naturally did not dare to treat ordinary immortals or the Demon Clan so casually. Are you the master of this situation? The people from the Holy Demon Clan who came here were as powerful as the immortal Luo Tian, so they were certainly worthy of the evil immortal in front of them. Yes, I am the master of this realm, Nan Fitai. What do you call me? You can call me Mahayun, Mahayun said after giving his name. Since this fairy land is yours, it's the best. We want to find a magic weapon. Magic weapon? Nan Fitai narrowed his eyes and said, the fairy land is so vast, where can we find it? From the perspective of the universe, the fairy land is much larger than the world star. But in fact, the space of this fairy land is about the same size as Huang Mingxing's entire Yao realm. I'm afraid it would be a bit troublesome if I really had to look for it. If you don't want to look for it, then we will go look for it ourselves. If there is any misunderstanding, we hope that the Lord of the Southern Territory will not take offense. Mahayun's expression was indifferent and his tone was calm. He didn't ask for Nan Fitai's consent at all, he just raised his hand, and the demons behind him fell to the ground with him. Mahayun, Nan Fitai followed closely and said seriously, you didn't tell me what the characteristics of the magic weapon are. Even if I want to mobilize all the immortals in the world to find it, there is no way to do it. That's true, I heard a hint of submission in Nan Fitai's words, and Mahayun's expression softened a little, and he said, that's a sword, it looks like this. I saw that a shadowy eye suddenly appeared on his forehead. This virtual eye was flooded with the power of the holy demon, and projected a light and shadow 1 foot in front of him. It looked like the demonic sword. I remember, Nan Fitai said after confirming that Mahayun was indeed a member of the Holy Demon Clan, and also knew what the demon sword looked like. Are you in a hurry? If you are not in a hurry, you can go to the master of this realm. Sit at the house. The people of the Demon Clan are straightforward in everything they do and don't know how to make twists and turns. Nan Fitai was afraid that he would ruin his good deeds, so he decided to appease them. Although he didn't know much about this fairy land, the magic weapon itself was equivalent to a huge reduction in scope. At worst, all the Luo Tianchang Immortals and the Luo Golden Immortals will have to go through the whole area, and it will be easy to find them. Okay. Mahayun thought for a moment, then nodded in agreement. Nan Fitai stretched out his hand to lead him forward and said, then please come with me, the master of this realm. After saying that, he flew forward to lead the way, and Mahayun followed slowly with a group of demon subordinates. I seem to feel several rays of the same kind of power, and someone just used the magic eye. I can't feel it wrong. Mengwei pointed at his eyes and said. So, there are people from the Holy Demon Clan coming here? Are they colluding with the evil immortal? Zhu Yun's brows deepened. When they first came to the fairy world, Meng Wei's initial plan was to go to the Holy Demon clan and return to the position of saint, which might bring convenience to Zhu Yun. But now, as soon as the evil immortal here killed the realm owner and captured the immortal realm, people from the same clan came over. In the eyes of demons, there is no big difference between evil immortals and immortals. Sidu Qingchen also came to his senses and said. Indeed, Meng Wei also said, our demon clan mainly cultivates our own power and natal magic power, and there will be no conflict with the immortal world, so we don't care whether it is an evil immortal or not. But why is it that the Holy Demon clan is coming and not other demon clan? Zhu Yun couldn't help but think deeply, how could such a coincidence happen? Tell me, are they following you? As soon as these words came out, Meng Wei's expression suddenly changed. She lowered her head and glanced at the magic sword in her hand, and exclaimed, it's really possible. My magic sword is from the Holy Demon clan. The word stopped abruptly at this point. This is the sword of the Holy Demon clan. But there is an outsider like Sidu Qingchen in front of us. What is your magic sword from the Holy Demon clan? Sidu Qingchen was frightened and asked immediately. Meng Wei shook his head, stared at Sidu Qingchen and said, you'd better not know. Sidu Qingchen said, Dream Fairy, I, Sidu Qingchen, don't want to break the casserole and ask the truth. I still say what I said, we are grasshoppers on the same rope. Zhu Yun naturally stood on Meng Wei's side, and immediately interrupted Sidu Qingchen's words, saying, it's not that we don't want to tell you, but it's a matter of great importance and it's not good for you. But what is certain is that what Wei said may have indeed attracted people from the Holy Demon clan. Now, what we need to confirm is whether the Holy Demon clan has colluded with the evil immortals. If so, in order to avoid you being implicated, I suggest that you leave us for safety. This immediately convinced Sidu Qingchen, and after a moment of silence, he said, I see, then let me verify it first. After all, I'm just an ordinary golden immortal who doesn't look very eye-catching. It couldn't be better, Zhu Yun smiled, threw the storage bag to Sidu Qingchen, and said, you gave us a lot of immortal crystals before, saying you were here to buy this magic knife. There should be about the same amount of immortal crystals here, right? I'll give you all of them. Have you settled the account? I don't need these immortal crystals either, Sidu Qingchen weighed the storage bag and threw it back, saying, I don't know what the result is yet, so you can wait for my good news here, but, by the way, if I don't come back in a day. Don't worry, Zhu Yun knew what Sidu Qingchen meant, and said, if you don't come back, I'll go to the Eastern Immortal Realm. At least help you see if the Eastern Immortal Emperor's little daughter is a boy or a girl. Haha. Sidu Qingchen was immediately amused, but he also knew that this was Zhu Yun's statement. You can wait in this formation, don't come out casually. With a serious look, Sidu Qingchen gave an order, and then slowly went towards the direction of the Territory Lord's mansion. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzhuan Xianxia. Chapter 1632. Sidu's identity is not simple either. After he left, Zhu Yun set up the 9-turn 9-yang immortal formation again. After entering it, he said to Meng Wei. Of course it's not simple, Meng Wei said with a smile, no matter how bad the daughter of the Eastern Immortal Emperor is, she is still a princess. If she doesn't have the corresponding identity, she will definitely not be a match. Even if Sidu Qingchen is not from the Northern Immortal Emperor's mansion, he should also be a second-generation Immortal Lord from the Northern Immortal Realm. However, in my memory, there is no Immortal Lord or family power named Sidu. Identity is not important. We have to go to the Eastern Fairyland after all. It doesn't hurt to ask about it then. Do you really want us to contribute? How is it possible? Our strength is still far apart. Actually, Sidu is quite discerning, at least. Before Meng Wei finished speaking, 3 immortals suddenly fell outside the formation. They couldn't see anyone in the formation, so they thought it was safe and sat down one after another, breathing heavily. What should we do? Now the evil immortal has taken over this realm and has become the master of this realm. There were people from the demon clan coming in earlier. I am afraid that in some time, we will all be buried here. The speaker was a Xianxian. He was very powerful, but he was also full of panic. Brother Chen, I just said that when Xianxia entered the main palace, we should take the opportunity to escape from this situation, but you just said to wait and see for a while, saying that we could take advantage of the chaos in this situation to seize some resources before leaving. It's okay now, even the demons are here and they can't leave even if they want to. Next to him, another Xianxian complained. Can you blame me for this? I didn't force you to stay at that time. It was you who thought that this fairyland had a destiny. Don't think that I don't know the purpose of your coming to this fairyland. Brother Chen, it's meaningless for you to say that. Although you didn't say it explicitly at the time, you also hinted at it. Our original intention was to wait until we are safe in this place before coming back, but you said that if we leave and come back, we are not qualified to do so. Go and seize his immortality. There were various opinions, and the place became lively for a while, with faces red and red, but no one chose to take action. Thinking about it, they were also afraid that it would attract the attention of the Lucian evil immortal, which would lead to a fatal disaster. Zuyun also breathed a sigh of relief. He was also afraid that these Xianxian would start a fight and then find out that they had touched his 9-turn 9-yang immortal formation. But these people kept arguing and showed no sign of leaving. Just as Zuyun was waiting impatiently, Sidu Qingchen ran over again from a distance. Zuyun, Zuyun, come out quickly. Before anyone arrived, the shouts came first, which immediately attracted the attention of these Xianxian. They stopped arguing and looked at Sidu Qingchen. Seeing that he was just an ordinary golden immortal with a disordered aura, one of them suddenly took action and captured Sidu Qingchen with his immortal power. Among them, there was no one named Zuyun. And Sidu Qingchen came directly here. This means that there is a person named Zuyun hiding here, and all their words about searching for Xianyuan were heard. How many immortals, is there any misunderstanding? Sidu Qingchen almost cried when he saw these 3 people staring at him eagerly and controlling them with their immortal power. Why is there still someone waiting here in this terrible place? He just got the news. Has someone found this place? Misunderstand. The Xianxian named Chen sneered, there is no misunderstanding. We are here, but you are here to look for someone. Well, Sidu Qingchen said with a sneer, don't blame me for being an immortal. I am looking for an immortal beast that I just lost. Please forgive me if there is any collision. Seeing the unkind expressions on the 3 people's faces, Sidu Qingchen was very alert and immediately changed his mind that he was not looking for someone. But Zuyun in the formation felt uncomfortable. Sidu Qingchen even scolded him in a roundabout way. Meng Wei glanced at him, asking if he wanted to take action while the other 3 were not paying attention, but Zuyun shook his head. The 2 chose to wait and see again. I saw Sidu Qingchen promise, immortal, I am just a golden immortal. That immortal beast is very naughty, so I came here to look for it. If I knew that the 3 immortals were here, I wouldn't dare to come over. He really didn't see it. Of course, even if you see it, you will definitely not have time to escape. Humph, at this time, the Xianxian named Chen said, whether you are looking for someone or not, don't leave, stay. These words immediately made Sidu Qingchen's pupils shrink. But then, another Xianxian said, what are you doing here? Just kill a Jinxian. You think I don't want to kill? Duluo, surnamed Chen, said, killing him requires the use of immortal power. Now the evil immortals from the Realm Lord's mansion have settled in, and they seem to have activated the Immortals under the mansion to look for something in this realm. I don't want to cause trouble. That's right, the third person also said, take it with you first, maybe, it will be useful later. The three of them did not shy away from anything in front of Situ Ching Chen. It's almost time to take action. Zuyun took a deep breath and looked at Situ Ching Chen. Now he can control the immortal power and possess the immortal crystal. Although they are low grade, it is completely sufficient to deal with these De Luo golden immortals and arrange the Dozhuan Xin Shi formation to prevent the surge and spread of the immortal power. He can kill one person, and Menghui's magic sword can also kill one person. Situ Ching Chen must have some spare strength, just like in the mine, it is more than enough to deal with a Luo Tianxian. Seeing that the three were still arguing about how to deal with Situ Ching Chen, Zuyun winked at Menghui. In an instant, the array gate opened wide, Zuyun rushed out with a storage bag in one hand, and sprinkled fairy crystals on the ground with the other hand. This scene directly confused the three people, and it was also in this moment of daze that Menghui jumped out from behind Zuyun with a magic knife in his hand. The power of the holy devil surged, and the magic knife quickly stabbed towards the chest of a De Luo Jingxian. And Situ Ching Chen finally waited for the opportunity, stretched out his hand and touched his chest, and a touch of fairy light suddenly appeared. This was emitted by his jade pendant. The fairy arts of the fairy world are all based on the laws, so there are all kinds of fairy arts. Even these De Luo Jingxians can't recognize what Situ Ching Chen is going to do, let alone what Zuyun is going to do. They thought he wanted to use the low-grade fairy crystals to attract their attention and escape. That's why Menghui had the opportunity to attack with all his strength. What Zuyun wanted to set up was the Dozhuan Xin Yixian formation, where the immortal crystals scattered without any pattern. And this formation only needed a dozen or 20 immortal crystals to form. As soon as Menghui's magic knife stabbed someone, they all appeared in the void. But in the territory lord's mansion, Ma Haiyun suddenly stood up and looked into the distance with a deep look. Someone is using the magic knife. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1633. They came here just for the magic sword. Now that they felt the aura of the magic sword, they naturally would not stay in the realm lord's mansion. Immediately, Mahaun touched a magic weapon in his arms, and immediately, all the demons he brought quickly gathered here in the realm lord's mansion. 10 miles away from here, within 100 miles, due west, the aura of the magic sword appeared. If the magic sword can be recovered, we, the holy demon tribe, can dominate the Chaos Star Sea. Mahaun suddenly stood up and shouted to the clan members. Set off. Under his leadership, all the demons rushed out of the realm lord's mansion almost at the same time and flew towards the west. By the time Nan Fei Tai heard the news and came over, the building was already empty, leaving only the dilapidated roof. Humph, he whispered with cold eyes and disdain in his tone, Demon Clan? Sooner or later, we evil immortals will also dominate the Sea of Chaos. At this time, Dou Wangxing moved into the immortal formation. Menghui's sword did not directly kill the De Luo Jingxian. The opponent has enough ability to fight back and kill Menghui. After entering the void of the immortal formation, Zuyun could help Menghui and distance himself from the great Luo Jingxian. Similarly, Situ Ching Chen was also rescued by Zuyun. The three of them floated behind a star in the formation. Zuyun, you are really powerful this time. Situ Ching Chen was greatly surprised. He thought that the 9 turns and 9 suns formation was mysterious enough, but he didn't expect that Zuyun had such a method. What's the use of being powerful, Zuyun said helplessly, those are 3 De Luo. If we want to kill them, we can only defeat them one by one. Now, Let's attack the Delugo who was stabbed by the magic knife first, how about? Situ Qingchen was stunned and said, can you separate them? This is natural, Zuyun suddenly smiled and said, this formation can change quickly. I can control the formation to move the Delugo Jinxian near us, and then the two of you take action. Situ, you are responsible for containing him and letting Wu Ya use it. Magic knife. He needed to control the formation, so naturally he couldn't take action. He could only rely on Situ Qingchen and Meng Wei to kill him. That's the only way. Situ Qingchen took a deep breath and said, if we are a little slower, you have to ensure our safety. No matter how many tricks Situ Qingchen had, he was still invincible. As long as the opponent reacted and used his immortal power to suppress him, not to mention Meng Wei, even Situ Qingchen would be unable to move. I understand, don't worry, I can use this formation smoothly. Zuyun nodded and said, you guys are ready, I will move that person over. After seeing them preparing for the formation, Zuyun was the master of the formation. Thanks to his soul becoming immortal consciousness, this formation is indeed as he said, and it is easier to use. Coupled with the arrangement of the following grade immortal crystals, his immortal knowledge is also at ease. In the blink of an eye, the Delugo Jinxian, whose lower abdomen was still bleeding with immortal blood, looked at the place where he was with a blank expression. Just now, he was discussing with his two companions not to separate, but in the blink of an eye he appeared in another place. Before he could react, a burst of immortal power suddenly arrived. Feeling the strength and aura, it was that Situ Qingchen's, the Delugo Jinxian backhanded his palm and slapped it in the direction where the immortal power came from. But the next moment, the demonic energy that made his heart palpitate came from below. Poof! The familiar pain and the familiar demonic energy broke into his body again. The original remnants in the body have not yet dissipated, and this new demonic energy has begun to wreak havoc again. Roar! Severe pain came, and he slapped Situ Qingchen's palm. The immortal power also dissipated, but he was injured by Situ Qingchen's palm power. At the same time, Meng Wei didn't hold back at all. He controlled the magic sword in the magic sword and pointed it directly at his Zifu. Within a moment, the head of Delugo Jinxian drooped and his ears drooped. Death! Hurry, hurry up! Zuyun took a deep breath and moved a Delugo Jinxian. He seemed to be relaxed, but in fact it consumed a lot of money. Moreover, the movement here will definitely attract the other two Delugo Jinxian. Now, he is only in the realm of earthly immortals. No matter how strong you are, you will still be affected by your realm. After greeting the two of them back to his side, Zuyun controlled the movement of the formation again and moved the three of them to the other corner of the formation. Because the formation itself is only made up of dozens of fairy crystals, the space is not large. Soon, the two people discovered the body of their companion, and they appeared in a flash. That demon did it? After examining the body, they discovered residual demonic energy. However, their vision is still shallow, so they haven't recognized that this is the aura of the power of the holy demon. It doesn't matter what the demons did, Delugo Jinxian surnamed Chen raised his head and looked into the distance and said, the key is, how did he disappear just now? This is a big formation, of course it is controlled by the formation method. That's what I said, but didn't you see? The boy who sprinkled the fairy crystal array is only in the realm of earthly immortals. What does Brother Chen mean? Humph, there are so many realms behind us. Even if he can use this formation to control our position, it must be very expensive. Moreover, although this formation is mysterious, they can only defeat us one by one and pick their own. The fact that he was injured is enough to prove that they don't have the ability to kill us with this formation. So, we can't separate. Not bad, Delugo surnamed Chen stretched out his hand, and his companion also put his hand on it knowingly. We are holding hands. Even if they use the same trick again, it won't be that easy. Maybe we can give them a big surprise. The lower immortals of the lower realm can only attack them by surprise. But even if they attack by surprise, they can only attack one person, right? The two came up with a brilliant countermeasure, but they underestimated that Zuyun always defeated the strong with the weak. His realm is not high, but he has many means. Moreover, both his immortal soul hammer and Menghui's magic knife have the ability to kill the immortals. It's just that the consumption is too large. As expected by the two immortals, Zuyun's immortal power has been consumed by more than half. At this time, he is holding the immortal crystal in his hand and madly absorbing the immortal power in it. After the immortal power enters the body, it is refined by the Chaos Lotus and becomes Chaos Immortal Power. "We all need to rest," Zuyun said while absorbing the immortal power, looking at Sidu Qingchen who was looking around. "Don't you need it?" Sidu Qingchen turned around and said, "Zuyun, these stars of yours are all made of immortal crystals, right? I thought of a little trick. If used well, it may have a miraculous effect." "What little trick? Tell me first." Zuyun was also suffering from having no other way, and he had always used the formation in this way. It's not that he couldn't use the stars made of immortal crystals to bombard the two Deluo Jinxian, but he was afraid that the immortal power would vibrate and attract the attention of the fairyland. "I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills." Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1634. Since you can control the position of people, you must be able to control the position of the stars. What I mean is, as soon as these words came out, Zuyun knew what the other party was thinking, and said helplessly, "Situ, I can control the stars, but have you ever considered the current situation in this fairyland?" This was what worried him. "The situation is not good." Sidu Qingchen slapped his forehead and said, "I have found out the news. The Realm Lord's mansion is controlled by the evil cultivator, and he seems to be looking for the magic knife. So, I'm afraid that the immortal power will spread out and attract their attention." Zuyun smiled bitterly and said, "You think I don't want to? If I weren't afraid of attracting demons and evil cultivators, I wouldn't have to do this. I can completely trap them in the formation, and then add fairy crystals from outside the formation to make the formation become bigger and stronger, and finally use the fairy crystal to kill them. If you give me a chance, I won't take it seriously." This is extremely arrogant. But Sidu Qingchen completely believed in Zuyun at this time. From a monk in the integration stage, the immortal soul suddenly appeared. He could completely guess that Zuyun definitely had his own trump card. "Look at Menghui, this witch from the holy demon tribe can't even see through the magic knife in her hand, and she also attracted people from the holy demon tribe. It can be seen from this that Menghui's identity is extraordinary. It's so unusual, and he follows Zuyun and obeys orders, which further proves that Zuyun is more powerful than Menghui. Then can you make a fuss about this?" Sidu Qingchen realized that his suggestion was useless and couldn't help but sit down. "It took me a long time to come up with the idea, but it turned out to be of no use. I haven't thought of it yet, so I can only restore my immortal power. Moreover, I don't know how they will deal with it now." Zuyun shook his head. He really had no other choice. "Or." Sidu Qingchen thought for a moment and said, "You go out and add fairy crystals to this formation first? I feel that your space is still a bit small. The demon sword must have been leaked before, otherwise I wouldn't have hid in the formation immediately. What if I went out and were noticed by the holy demon clan and evil cultivators?" Zuyun asked Sidu Qingchen, but Menghui was shocked. "Zuyun, this is not good, we should leave here." "What?" Seeing Menghui in such a panic, Zuyun immediately looked over and even stopped absorbing the fairy crystal in his hand. "My people are here. Although they don't have inherited magic eyes, they do have magic eyesight." "And you mean," Zuyun immediately interrupted Menghui and said in shock, "their magic eyes can also see through my formation?" "It's very possible, Meng Wei said with a bitter smile, we should leave here, now, immediately, immediately. Zhu Yun took a deep breath, stood up immediately, and said, let's go now. When they come, we may not be able to make it in time. Regardless of the lack of immortal power in his body, he sent Situ Qingchen out first. Zhu Yun, this magic sword can only be temporarily placed in the immortal mansion. Zhu Yun took it without saying a word, threw it into the immortal mansion, and asked again, what about you? Their evil eyes can't see through me yet. I'll let you go out, otherwise, Situ Qingchen will also become suspicious. Good. Within a few breaths, they immediately reached a tacit understanding. In a flash, Zhu Yun appeared behind Situ Qingchen, holding Meng Wei in hand. Let's go, let's go. The three of them continued to head west, gathering the breath in their bodies and running away. Just after burning the incense, Mahayun discovered the fairy crystals scattered on the ground. The imperial envoy took a look and immediately realized that this was a large formation. Next to the big formation, there is a small formation. Interesting, it seems that the breath of the magic sword just came from here. Mahayun landed, followed by a group of demons. Sir, it seems that there is no breath of the magic sword anymore. She must have run away after listening to his subordinate's words. Mahayun used his magic eyes and immediately saw the situation in the star-shifting formation. He took 3 steps and 2 steps at a time, and stepped into the formation. This formation actually uses the laws of stars to cater to the way of space. It's amazing. His strength is comparable to Immortal Luo Tian, and he is not much different from Immortal Lord. The mystery of the formation can be seen at a glance. Of course, he didn't know how to create this effect, he only knew that the formation was powerful enough. When his magic eyes swept over, he spotted 2 male cultivators holding hands, and he couldn't help but look strange. 2 Luo Jingxian who like Long Yang. With a flash of figure, Mahayun appeared in front of them. There is demonic energy, take action. The 2 Luo Jingxian had been paying attention to the demonic aura to prevent Meng Wei from making a sneak attack. When the demonic aura suddenly appeared, they stretched out their palms to pat it over without hesitation. Boom! Boom! The 2 tried their best, but they didn't expect that the immortal power immediately dissipated in front of Mahayun, without any effect at all. This is. The immortal power dispersed, and the 2 of them saw clearly that the person in front of them turned out to be a man. Moreover, the aura is extraordinary, which is definitely not comparable to Meng Wei's delicate body. Humph, human ants. Mo Heun glanced at the 2 Luo Jingxian with disdain. When the corner of his eye spotted the hands they were holding, a look of disgust flashed through him again, and a ghost eye suddenly appeared between his eyebrows. The demonic energy turned into light and shot out, directly blasting the held hands into powder. Before they could scream, the 2 were enveloped by the demonic energy. When they came to their senses, they found themselves outside the formation. And in front of them, there were dozens of demons. The pure demonic energy made them tremble. They really caught up with them. Dozens of miles away, Meng Wei turned back in shock. Although her realm was not high enough, she could sense the breath of the demon eyes. Zhu Yun smiled bitterly. Moreover, they easily entered the formation and even brought the 2 Luo Jingxian out. The immortal consciousness was strong enough, so Zhu Yun could feel the changes in the formation. Of course, the farther away, the weaker the perception of the formation. But, Wei, can I do it? After all, she was Meng Wei's clansman, so Zhu Yun still asked for her consent. Do it? Meng Wei sighed. Okay. Zhu Yun nodded, and his heart moved. Being so far away, he couldn't control the formation to make some subtle changes. But it was not difficult to make the formation explode. Under his control, dozens of stars transformed from immortal crystals in the formation suddenly gathered together. But a moment later, all the stars collided with each other. Boom! All immortal powers rushed out at the same time. Be careful! Maha Yun's face changed, and he quickly controlled the magic eye to control the holy magic power in his body to the front, forming a huge shield to protect himself and the tribesmen behind him. Immortal power surged. When it dispersed, Maha Yun's clothes were tattered and dilapidated. Damn it! This kid can't be kept. The anger rose to the sky and spread to the surroundings. Even the ground was shaking. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzwan Xianxia. Chapter 1635. In the sea of chaotic stars, Mahayun is also the number one figure. But in this fairyland, he almost died. This was simply a shame and humiliation. In addition, at this time, there was no news or breath of the magic sword at all. In anger, Mahayun waved his hand and let all the demons under him chase him in all directions. These people from the demon clan can control the magic eye. Although his strength is only that of Delugo Jinxian, it is still easy to find someone. After the clan members dispersed, Mahayun looked in front of him. Originally, I wanted to find out from these two Delugo Jinxian who they were trapped in this formation. But without thinking, the formation suddenly exploded, killing the two Delugo Jinxian. Mahayun couldn't help but feel lucky that he came out early. Otherwise, he would be caught off guard by such a powerful force, and he wouldn't know whether he could stop it. But the more he thought about it, the angrier he became, and he had nowhere to vent his anger. At this time, Nan Phi Tai followed the sound and came here. What happened? Did you meet your opponent? Seeing the tragic situation of Mahayun, Nan Phi Tai was overjoyed, but he didn't show it on his face. Humph! Mahayun glanced at him and said calmly, Lord of the Southern Realm, you have so many capable people and strangers hidden in your fairyland. It's quite impressive. Oh! Nan Phi Tai narrowed his eyes, there was something in Mahayun's words. Looking in front of the opponent again, the huge pit was obviously created just now. Could it be that the magic knife he was looking for was in the hands of a strong man? Immortal Luo Tian? This is not good. Nan Phi Tai's expression could not help but become solemn, and he said, Mahayun, just say what you have to say, there is no need to be so shady. He has controlled this fairyland to move towards the predetermined place, and cannot stop at all. Unless the fairyland is directly destroyed and turned into dust. But in this case, wouldn't the previous efforts be in vain? After weighing the pros and cons, Nan Phi Tai decided to give the magical weapon he just obtained a try. The people I'm looking for know how to set up formations, and I almost suffered a big loss. Moreover, they ran away before I saw them. It may be that while their realm is not high, their perception is also extremely keen. Seeing Nan Phi Tai like this, Mahayun also suppressed his temper. Judging from his expression, he seemed to care about this fairyland. Then let's see their true faces. Nan Phi Tai nodded slightly. If there really was such a person, he might not be able to live in peace, so he took out the time artifact. This immortal weapon is like a compass. After Nan Phi Tai took it, he suppressed the weapon immortal and naturally knew the purpose of this immortal weapon. He condensed in his heart and channeled the power of the evil immortal into it. Suddenly, the fairy weapon was flowing in 7 colors, forming a large circular light shield, covering both of them into it. Turn back time. Nan Phi Tai called out softly, and in the place covered by the light shield, streaks of light and shadow quickly fell back. They seemed to be passers-by standing here, watching the past scenes unfold. Mahayun saw the scene that just happened to him, and also saw the stars changing and the explosion. However, they couldn't see what was happening in the formation at all. And as Nan Phi Tai continued to use the time artifact to travel back in time, they finally saw Zhu Yun, Meng Wei, and Sidu Qing Chen. Earth Immortal, Golden Immortal, and a demon. Both of them were shocked. After writing down the appearance of the three of them, Nan Phi Tai removed the immortal weapon. Even if he is also illusion immortal, using it will consume a lot of immortal power. If Mahyun covets his immortal weapon and takes action, he will suffer a big loss. If it weren't for the fact that the demons couldn't control the immortal weapon, Nan Phi Tai would not have taken out the time immortal weapon even if he risked it. This is the immortal weapon that the immortal lord wants. I didn't expect that the person who caused me such a big loss was actually an earth immortal. Mahyun's mind was filled with Zhu Yun's appearance, and he gritted his teeth and said. Because of this, he didn't pay much attention to Mengwei. He just thought he looked familiar and thought that he might be a junior he had met occasionally in the Sea of Stars. There are so many races of demons that even they themselves can't count them. It is impossible to remember the Mahyun. Nan Phi Tai touched his chin and said, they left in this direction. At this time, the immortal weapon was taken back, and the colorful light shield was of course dispersed. Nan Phi Tai pointed to the west and said. I wonder if the Lord of the Southern Realm can come with me? These people must be a big hidden danger in this realm, right? Mahyun thought for a moment and decided to throw Nan Phi Tai into the water. Seeing that these three people cooperated well and were proficient in formations, it was conceivable that ordinary tribesmen really couldn't deal with them. If you take your clan members there, you will lose nothing. On the contrary, together with Nan Phi Tai, the two of them are enough to deal with it. Go and go. Nan Phi Tai pondered for a moment, then nodded. The two hit it off, each using their own methods, and ran towards the west. At the same time, Zhu Yun and the others ran more than 100 miles away. Zhu Yun, I don't feel good. If I keep running like this, I may be overtaken at any time. Mengwei gasped and said. There is a lot of pressure in the fairy world. Even if the body adapts, it will naturally suffer great losses because it does not have the ability to fly with magic. What should we do? Are we going to set up a formation here? But the problem is, if they catch up, they may still find it. Zhu Yun shook his head. If there was really no other way, he could only take Mengwei into the immortal mansion. Sidu Qingchen also said, Zhu Yun, if it doesn't work, let's try our best and fly into the universe. They are looking for us now. Maybe the power to guard the sky is not that strong, but we still have a chance. As long as we enter in the universe, it is like a fish entering the sea. It's not that simple, Zhu Yun said again, for now, only the Holy Demon Clan has been mobilized, and we don't know what their attitude is. On the side of the evil immortal, after all, there is also illusion immortal. And haven't you noticed? Wonderland seems to be moving in one direction. As soon as these words came out, Sidu Qingchen's expression changed. Zhu Yun didn't say anything, he really didn't notice. If this is true, it means that the evil immortal not only wants to take away the time magic weapon, but also wants to take away this fairy land. What should we do? Sidu Qingchen suddenly became confused. There is only one way, Zhu Yun took a deep breath and said, previously, the three Delugo Golden Immortals said they were looking for some kind of fairy fate. But now, we are looking for that fairy fate. If it is some kind of secret realm, maybe you can hide there temporarily. Aren't you afraid that they can find the magic knife? In Sidu Qingchen's eyes, the demon sword is actually the most likely existence to attract the people of the Holy Demon Clan. After all, it can be seen from the precise finding of this place from the distant Sea of Stars. I have hidden the magic knife so they can't find it at all, Zhu Yun smiled confidently, and then looked at Mengwei. Wei, you and Sidu Qingchen go first to find that fairy fate. What about you? Mengwei and Sidu Qingchen said in unison. I'm setting up a formation here to disrupt their search direction. Zhu Yun's unquestioning tone made Mengwei swallow his words of persuasion. She also knew that sometimes it was more convenient for Zhu Yun to act alone, so she even agreed. After they left, Zhu Yun took out a few fairy crystals, arranged the 9-turn-9 yang fairy formation, and after removing his own breath, he entered the world of the universe. As long as there are high-grade immortal crystals and Lucian immortal, what does it matter? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1636. Zhu Yun's figure flashed away, and the next moment he appeared in the world of Dazhu. He hurriedly ran to Barren Stone Mountain and without hesitation took out more than 100 pieces of high-grade immortal crystals and put them into his storage bag. Seeing Zhu Yun's impatience, the formation immortals in the world C also flew out. What, did you encounter a strong enemy? The immortal's tone was teasing, but it was rare to see Zhu Yun in such a hurry. I met people from the Holy Demon clan, as well as evil immortals from Lucian Xianxian realm. Zhu Yun also said helplessly that he could not reach the realm of earthly immortals, but now that he came to the immortal world, he encountered dangers one after another. Holy Demon clan. The formation immortal frowned, and then said, "Isn't Mengwei a saint from the Holy Demon clan? Is it possible that they want to re-establish a saint?" In his eyes, the Holy Demon clan is far more difficult to deal with than an evil immortal like Luo Tianxian. The key is that the information revealed seems to be related to the situation in chaotic Star Sea and even the entire fairy world. If the fairy world is in chaos, it will be difficult for Zhu Yun to travel. How will he find a suitable body for him? Hearing what the formation immortal said, Zhu Yun shook his head repeatedly and said, "They don't seem to know its way yet, but they are well prepared and want to take back Wei's magic sword." Speaking of the magic sword, Zhu Yun also remembered that he threw the magic sword back into the fairy mansion. And at the hilt of the knife, a yin and yang chaotic circle appeared. Maybe it can be shown to the array immortal. Seeing that the formation immortal was stunned, Zhu Yun also said quickly, "By the way, I will bring the magic knife and see if you can see through the strange thing on it." Without waiting for his response, Zhu Yun dodged into the immortal mansion, and the next moment, he appeared on the spot with the magic knife in his hand. "Take it." Seeing that the formation immortal had transformed into a human form, Zhu Yun simply threw the magic knife over. Array immortal took it and took a look, and his expression suddenly changed. "What, you can't see through it?" Zhu Yun looked at his face and saw that he had such a reaction, so he sarcastically said, "It's not that I can't see through it." Xianxia smiled bitterly as he showed the yin-yang chaotic circle to Zhu Yun and said, "It's that he can see through it but can't start." "Why?" Zhu Yun glanced at it and found that the chaotic circle on the handle of the knife seemed to be spinning, but when he took a closer look, he found it was motionless. Chaos can give birth to all things. This magic sword seems to be no longer a magic sword. You made me understand the many laws and principles contained in it, but... It was as if he hadn't said it yet. Zhu Yun rolled his eyes and said, "Then take it and study it carefully. You even call it a formation immortal. You can't even understand it? Don't go too far." The formation immortal immediately blew his beard and glared. Naturally, he was angry at being ridiculed by such a junior. But when he wanted to respond, it was like he couldn't see through the chaotic circle of yin and yang, and he didn't know how to speak. Also at this time, a figure came quietly. Tang Liwen, who was dressed in white, looked slightly haggard. She also saw Zhu Yun, and then she flew out of the sea of the world. And Tang. Zhu Yun looked at it and knew that Tang Liwen seemed to have achieved results in the process of quitting smoking. He couldn't help but exclaimed happily, "Well, Zhu Yun, what are you and my master arguing about?" "Master?" Zhu Yun blinked and looked at the formation immortal again. "You are so shameless." He, Xianxia smiled playfully and said, "If you call me aunt, you have to call me master." "You have to call me master anyway, Right. Roll. Zuyun cursed angrily and said, I still have things to do, so let's go first. He couldn't stand the proud look of Xianxia, and he did have something on his hands. But just as he was about to leave, Tang Liwen suddenly said, Huh? Why is there the law of stars on your sword? The law of the stars? Both of them were stunned. Zuyun only knew that there were laws of chaos above, but when he was still in the yellow star, when he looked down from Kunlun, he couldn't see anything except the yin and yang. As for the formation immortal, he may have understood it, but he may not have understood it. On the contrary, Tang Liwen summoned a completely different law. And Tang, can you see through this? Zuyun handed over the magic knife. What can't be seen through? Tang Liwen also didn't know why. Not only had she never seen the magic sword, but she also didn't know what was causing the anger between the two people. Of course, she never cared, knowing that the two of them were joking and getting along in this way. After recognizing the formation immortal as my teacher, I naturally learned a lot about him. Isn't this a circle drawn according to the law of stars? You see, the two halves in the middle are yin and yang, and the sun and moon are yin and yang. Those other than the sun and moon represent the stars. In fact, if we talk about it in detail, they are the 28 constellations. The rules. Look at the ones around you. They are actually star images. Count them. Are they 28? Zuyun squinted his eyes, not that he couldn't look straight at what he saw before, but he couldn't see anything. He turned to look at Sidu Ching Chen, and saw a look of surprise on his face, saying, it turns out this represents the law of stars. If you didn't tell me, I really didn't see it. Yeah, it does. He nodded as he spoke, obviously seeing it. Only Zuyun looked confused. He can understand the laws of yin, yang, sun, and moon in the middle. But the stars, he really didn't see them. Is it possible that only by mastering the corresponding laws can we see it? What about Mengwei? Can he see it? After thinking for a moment, Zuyun said, and Tang, what else can you see besides this? What else can you see? Tang Liwen was stunned for a moment, not quite understanding what Zuyun meant. Because Zuyun guessed something. Tang Liwen couldn't see all the laws of chaos. Seeing this, Zuyun looked at Xianxia again and said, can you see everything? Xianxia said with a distressed look, what I saw was very complicated, so I can't explain it to you. Zuyun's eyes lit up immediately, and he said, then, did you draw everything you saw? Draw. Zhengxian's eyes widened immediately, and he said in surprise, Zuyun, are you kidding? I'm not kidding. Zuyun spread his hands, pointed his finger at the yin and yang in the middle, and said, except for this, I can't see anything. And Tang, I didn't see the 28 constellations law you mentioned. In fact, he was also suspicious in his heart. After all, he had mastered the Chaos Fist and realized the four-directional Divine Beast Fist. In theory, he should have mastered it, right? But he couldn't see what was on this Chaos Circle. On the contrary, I had never studied yin and yang in depth, but I could see it. It was really strange. If I could draw it, would I need you to tell me? I couldn't explain it to you before, let alone draw it. After saying that, he suddenly seemed to remember something and turned to Tang Liwen and said, it just so happens that you can only see the laws of the stars, why don't you draw it? Tang Liwen laughed, okay. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1637. Tang Liwen's enlightenment was based on the star transformation formation, coupled with her understanding of the 28 constellations. After ascending through the ascension platform, the immortal way directly improved her control of this aspect of the law. Therefore, this is not difficult for her at all. Zuyun thought he had mastered the laws of the stars. In fact, he's still far from it. Because the number of stars is far more than 28, let alone the ever-changing variety. Without mastery, nature cannot be seen. In fact, there is another way for Zuyun to learn the key, which is to use the divine eye technique. Now that all the power in his body is chaos immortal power, and with the support of chaos lotus, it is not difficult at all. But Zuyun didn't think about it. The scene that happened in Kunlun Mountain at that time is so vivid in my mind, how can I dare to use my divine eyes to see it? Then Aunt Tang, I'll leave it to you. Zuyun was overjoyed, and while thanking Tang Liwen, he deliberately ignored Xianxia. Hey, Zuyun, you can't be like this. The array immortal looked dissatisfied. In fact, he could also see it, but he saw too many things. On the contrary, it was better not to have Tang Liwen specialize in this area. Why can't it be like this? What are you talking about? I don't understand. Zuyun sneered, and then left the world of Dazhu with the high-grade immortal crystal. I don't know what kind of transformation this circle of chaos has caused to the magic knife. Standing in the fairyland, Zuyun couldn't help but feel strange as he recalled the slight changes in the magic knife. It was all beyond his comprehension. But he also knows that if he can master this chaotic circle, his understanding of the law will be further improved, and his realm may be able to reach several levels. The realm in the fairy world actually has nothing to do with fairy power. More, it depends on the understanding and perception of the rules. Meng Wei also took a fancy to this point and asked Zuyun to come to the fairy world in advance. Let's use ordinary fairy crystals to set up the formation first. Zuyun exhaled a breath, and after calming down his mind, he began to prepare for the formation. This time, he plans to set up an array within an array. First, the following grade immortal crystals were used to set up the 9-turn 9-yang immortal formation. The fluctuations of the immortal power of low-grade immortal crystals are not obvious and are not easy to be discovered. After entering this formation, he took out 5 high-grade immortal crystals at once. After condensing for a moment, he arranged the 5 immortal crystals into a self-destruction formation. When he got out of the battle, he would do the same thing again, matching 5 high-grade fairy crystals for every 9 low-grade fairy crystals. A total of 30 sets of formations were arranged, and Zuyun felt that it was almost done. I didn't expect that in the fairy world, I would still use this method to deal with the enemy. Zuyun smiled self-deprecatingly, always feeling that something was missing. After careful consideration, I discovered the problem. The formation is here. If someone from the Holy Demon clan comes looking for it, they can find the problem with just a casual scan of the magic eyes. But there are not many low-grade immortal crystals on his body, and if he arranges a Dozhuangxing immortal formation outside, it is estimated that it will be difficult to trap people in it. After much thought, Zuyun decided to find a helper. Dragon Suppressing Stone. With a flash of his body, he entered the immortal mansion again. Just with a flash of his immortal consciousness, he discovered that the Dragon Suppressing Stone was actually soaked in the Dragon Transformation Pond. Aren't you afraid of soaking yourself to death if you still soak it in the Dragon Suppressing Stone? Zuyun couldn't help shouting loudly. Master, why are you here again? The Dragon Suppressing Stone was originally soaked in the Dragon Transformation Pond as a dragon. When it heard Zuyun shouting, it woke up quickly, jumped over the sword mountain from the pond, and finally transformed into a human form and stood in front of Zuyun. What do you mean it's coming again? Zuyun glared at him dissatisfied. This is my fairy mansion, just like my home, I can come and leave when I want. Master, I made a mistake. Xianxia touched his head and realized what was wrong with his words. How's your recovery going? I need your help. Hearing Zuyun's request for help, Xianxia couldn't help but feel shocked. He naturally knew that Zuyun was already an immortal, and even he asked him for help, which showed the predicament he was facing. Master, just follow your orders. As long as I can still breathe, you can take me back and throw me into the dragon transformation pond and I won't die. Zuyun laughed dumbly and said, I won't necessarily die, but I need you to be the bait. Don't worry, Master, I'm familiar with this matter. Will we still need to trap people then? Zhenlongxi said, patting his chest. I also want you to trap people, but I'm afraid you won't be able to. Zuyun's truth shocked Zhenlongxi, and then he said cautiously, is the other party very strong? The immortal Luo Tian is still an evil immortal. In addition, it is possible to meet someone with comparable strength from the holy demon tribe. What do you think? Master, I. Zhenlongxi suddenly felt that he had promised too early. What am I? Zuyun sneered, I know you're not good at it, so I don't plan to let you trap people. However, when the time comes, you can bluff people. I've set up the self-destruct array, and I'm using high-grade immortal crystals. Let alone immortal Luo Tian, even if the immortal lord comes, he will be so scared that he will pee. Master, Dragon Suppressing Stone calmed down and said, then you have to take me back before he pisses himself. Top-grade immortal crystal, it's scary just thinking about it. Don't worry, you just need to listen to my instructions. Zhu Yunchen was calm and composed. He was experienced enough in this kind of thing. Just give him a breath of time, not only can he directly detonate dozens of self-destruct arrays, but he can also take the opportunity to hide in the immortal mansion. Then, let's see what he can do to me. The dragon-suppressing stone turned into a ball of red light and flew into Zhu Yun's hands, and then he left the immortal mansion. After a careful look, he found a small earth pit, and then let the dragon-suppressing stone turn into the appearance of a stone demon dragon and crawl in it. Then, Zhu Yun hid aside, quietly used the divine eye technique, and looked towards the east. If those people were chasing after him, they would naturally come from this direction. After waiting for about an hour, Zhu Yun finally saw two figures. One of them was surrounded by black air, and was obviously a demon. There was an illusory single eye on his forehead, which looked extremely weird. It should be someone from the Holy Demon clan. Was it him who broke into my formation and was almost killed by it? Zhu Yun murmured, turning his head to look at Nan Fei Tai. Huh? Why is the immortal weapon in his hand so strange? Could it be that he used it to lock my position? The two came over without concealing their aura, so Zhu Yun could also judge the other party's strength. It must be the Luo Tian Xixian. No matter how good the immortal weapon is, it has to be used with life. Let's wait for them to come and kill them as the primary goal. Zhu Yun held his breath and calmed his mind. At the same time, he also withdrew the divine eye technique and quietly waited for the two people to rush over here. At the same time, in a desolate fairyland in the southern fairyland, a phantom that was very similar to the Dao glass mirror suddenly turned into a female human form. They finally used the time immortal artifact over there. I'll go see if I can take back some of the power of the law to help my body reshape. While talking to herself, the woman rushed straight into the universe like the nine heavens mysterious lady, and finally disappeared into the darkness. Warm Ti. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1638. Look, there is actually a demon beast. The dragon-suppressing stone that turned into a stone demon dragon was particularly conspicuous in this barren land. Of course, this was in a depression, otherwise they would not have seen it after flying closer. The demon beast is a demon beast, but it seems to have dragon power, and it seems, there is also the aura of a real dragon. The dragon-suppressing stone has been soaked in the dragon-transforming pool. Although the real dragon power on it is not pure enough, it is still the power of a real dragon. The aura it exudes will naturally be noticed by the two people. But the demon beast, shouldn't it be in the lower world? How could it appear in this realm? Ma Yun looked at Nan Fei Tai. Sorry, Nan Fitai spread his hands and said, I just took this fairyland, just before you came to the fairyland. Huh. Mahayun only then noticed his identity as an evil fairy. He was in a high position in the Holy Demon clan, so he could naturally hear some things about the fairyland. They also heard about the evil fairy seizing the fairyland in the southern fairyland and then controlling the fairyland to gather together. The Chaos Star Sea is located at the border of the southern fairyland. If they want to go anywhere, they must pass through the southern fairyland. This stone demon dragon appears a little strange. Why don't you use the time fairy artifact to see? Mahayun was also a little unsure, and at the same time, he had a little idea. The time fairy artifact can consume Nan Fitai's fairy power. Using it once can reduce his threat to himself. I can't use it. Nan Fitai immediately rejected Mahayun's request and said, it's not that I don't want to use it. I'm afraid that if I encounter the same situation as you, I'm afraid there will be no fairy power to stop it. Mahayun's face sank. He didn't hear the sarcasm in these words. He snorted coldly and said, since you don't want to use it, then let's catch this stone demon dragon and ask it how it appeared here. That's feasible. The dragon suppressing stone has not passed the tribulation and is still just a demon beast. In fact, it doesn't want to lie here all the time. It's really the pressure of the fairy world, and it hasn't gotten used to it yet. It's not that it can't move, but it takes a lot of dragon power to move. Zuyun's task was to attract the attention of the two men, so he simply let them come here without any effort. This just fulfilled Zuyun's wish. Seeing them approaching the dragon-suppressing stone, Zuyun, who was hiding in a 9-turn 9-yang immortal formation, was in a condensed state of mind, and silently recited the formula of the dragon-trapping formation. Instant. The true dragon power in the dragon-suppressing stone was attracted by Zuyun and spread in all directions, quickly forming a series of dragon-shaped light and shadows, trapping Mahayun and Nan Fitai in it. But this dragon power was thin and not pure enough after all, and the two did not think so, and even thought it was the dying counter-attack of the stone demon dragon. Haha, I didn't expect this demon dragon to have the pride of a true dragon. Nan Fitai laughed and moved closer to the dragon-suppressing stone. On the contrary, Mahayun felt something was wrong. He stopped, but never thought of leaving. At this time, it was enough. If you don't want to leave, then stay, Zuyun sneered, flashed out of the 9 transformations 9 suns formation, and his immortal consciousness also spread. Boom! All the 9 transformations 9 suns immortal formations were activated, and the self-destructing immortal formations in them were triggered. The immortal power in countless top-grade immortal crystals almost broke all the 9 transformations 9 suns immortal formations at the same time, spreading in all directions. Boy, it's you. Mahayun had suspected that there was a trick here. When he saw Zuyun appear, he immediately exclaimed, and his mind was full of the scene where he was almost blown to death by the Dozhuan Xinyi formation. Yes, it's me, Zuyun sneered, and the dragon-suppressing stone instantly turned into a red light and flew into Zuyun's forearm, and then disappeared with Zuyun. Nan Fitai didn't even have a chance to react, because there were several self-destructing immortal formations at the location of the dragon-suppressing stone. Run, run. Mahayun had no other thoughts. This chaotic immortal power was the strongest he had ever seen. But before he could move, the turbulence had already affected him, immediately destroying the magic he had prepared and knocking him to the ground. Mahayun stood up and wanted to escape, but was slapped to the ground again, and then suppressed to death. The holy demon power in his body could not be used at all. And Nan Fitai was even worse than him. Being so close to the self-destruction array, he was the first to bear the brunt. He couldn't even say a word before he was torn to pieces by the immortal power of the top-grade immortal crystal. The majestic and chaotic immortal power, mixed with evil spirits, kept colliding back and forth in this world. Mahayun also gradually lost consciousness and fell into darkness. Zuyun had miscalculated a little. But he was now in the world of the universe and had no idea what the result would be. The entire fairyland was torn apart by this point because the power of the top-grade immortal crystal was too strong. Originally, the entire fairyland was heading in one direction, but because of the power in it, the shattered realm flew to all parts of the universe. Even during this period of time, in order to protect the immortals in the fairyland, the immortals were unable to fly away from the fairyland. Sidu Qingchen and Menghui also flew to other places with a piece of the fragmented fairyland. After a long time, a woman suddenly came and stayed here. The person who used the time fairy weapon is dead. She picked up the fairy weapon. In this world, there was nothing else except the colorful light emitted by the fairy weapon. What kind of terrifying power is this? I'm afraid even if Nangang Tianli is here, he won't be able to destroy the fairyland, right? There was a hint of fear in her eyes, and she was a little confused. Until she looked down at the time artifact in her hand. How about backtracking? After hesitating for a moment, she decided to find out. Transfer the few immortal powers in your body into the time immortal weapon. A stream of colorful light formed an arc and enveloped her in it. Within a moment, she exclaimed. Is it him? The colorful light shield dispersed with her exclamation, and the woman's face was full of horror. Impossible, this is absolutely impossible. It has only been a long time since I escaped from the day-glazed mirror. How could he have come to the fairy world? Moreover, he also killed a Lucian evil immortal and Mo Yunhe from the holy demon tribe. In the universe, the power of the high-grade immortal crystal has long since dissipated, and by looking back in time through the immortal artifact, she did not get much information. Except for recognizing Zuyun. Wait a minute, I haven't paid attention to his realm yet. Immortal Lord Lianzhen suddenly came to his senses. But at this time, there is not much immortal power in the body. Even if he is unwilling, he knows that he should accept the reality. There is so much movement here, so I just have to leave first. Zuyun has obtained the day-glazed mirror. If he hides in the immortal mansion, the day-glazed mirror will definitely stay here. Unfortunately, he didn't see it, and he left after thinking about it. Immortal Lord Lianzhen did not know that Zuyun had become the great universe, and thought that Zuyun had left, so he had no choice but to leave. At the same time, Zuyun also received good news in the universe. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1639. Master, this universe world has changed a lot in the past long time. The dragon suppressing stone transformed into a human form, looking around with curiosity. Yes, you haven't been here for a long time. Zuyun couldn't help but sigh, thinking that it would be great if the Hualong Pond was moved here. After all, the immortal mansion was like home, and although the dragon suppressing stone could be trusted, it made him somewhat uncomfortable. Besides that, he also thought of those elixirs. In this world, perhaps they can recover faster. With the dragon suppressing stone, they flew all the way to the center of the universe. I didn't see the formation immortal, but there was a change at the other end of the world sea. 12 totem poles, shining brightly. This caused all the creatures in the center to run to watch the fun. Even the world tree and world mountain are not here. Master, are you still lighting the lamp? The beam of light shot up into the sky. Zhenlongshi felt very strange in his heart. Light up a lamp your size. Zuyun felt very uneasy, cursed the dragon suppressing stone, then bypassed the world sea and flew towards that direction. The totem pole has not been moved for a long time, but now it has finally changed. What he was worried about was that the stone statues of the 12 demon saints would eventually be unable to turn around, and these pillars of light would be the last whale of the totem pole. Regardless of the fact that the dragon-suppressing stone couldn't bear his speed and screamed, Zuyun flew to the totem pole as fast as he could. Outside the circle formed by the totem poles, there were densely packed creatures. There are mortals, monks, immortals, monsters, and magical beasts. Almost all the creatures living near World Mountain are here. Seeing Zuyun coming here, all kinds of calls came and went. Zuyun had no time to respond, but stared at the 12 pillars with bright eyes. Looking from a distance, the 12 light pillars reach into the sky. But as he got closer, he discovered that there was also a beam of light on the ground. 12 light pillars are connected into one in the center, forming the light and shadow of the destiny ancestral beast. And the 12 demon saint statues were stacked here for unknown reasons. Master, they moved here suddenly by themselves. World Mountain suddenly appeared beside Zuyun and said in a low voice. It moved on its own? Did you see it? Zuyun asked subconsciously. I can feel it, Sekiyama pointed at his forehead. How long has this mutation occurred? Soon, World Tree also flew to his side and said, I was afraid of an accident, so I came here to take care of it. But logically speaking, there shouldn't be any big problems. For World Tree and World Mountain, they are more concerned about the safety of the universe. Although they are acquainted with a few of these demon saints, their mission and the universe are the basis for their survival. At this time, the formation Immortal also flew out of the World Sea. After looking at it carefully for a few times, he said, it should be fine, but maybe they will turn into the ancestral beasts of destiny in the future, right? Destiny ancestral beast. Zuyun frowned and said, can't we be separated again? For now, it is estimated that they cannot be separated in a short period of time, Xianxia sighed. He knew the emotions of Zuyun and the 12 demon saints, and said, however, if you can master the demon Dao, maybe you can. Okay, Zuyun smiled bitterly. This might be the best result. He nodded slightly and asked, how is the chaos painting going? Your Entang is still painting. She thinks it's easy, but actually it's not easy to paint. Zuyun nodded and moved his gaze to the center of the light pillar. He saw that the surfaces of the stone sculptures gradually began to recede, revealing the surfaces of each of the 12 demon saints. Or feathers, or scales, or something like that. Zuyun's heart almost lifted. Under the influence of the light beam, the exposed surface slowly began to fit together as the stone sculpture moved. Just as the formation Immortal said, when the stone sculptures were completely transformed, they merged into the destiny ancestral beast. They can still retain their memories, right? Zuyun suddenly thought of a question and turned around to ask. It should be possible, the formation Immortal nodded, the destiny ancestral beast also exists in the immortal world. Although this is not the original destiny ancestral beast, there is definitely no problem with this kind of creature with inheritance. Inheritance. Zuyun murmured these two words, and suddenly remembered something, facing the immortal way, you watch here, I will come as soon as I go. Where are you going? As soon as the formation Immortal finished asking, Zuyun disappeared, naturally going to the immortal mansion. After coming out of the cave, Zuyun went straight to the trial platform. The ancestor of the Lin family said that if possible, the trial platform would be returned to the ancestral beast of destiny. This is their holy land. In addition, there is Hualong Pond. I happen to be planning to bring the elixir with me, so let's go together. He hasn't figured out how to move Hualong Pond to the great universe world, nor has he figured out where to place it. Under the World Mountain, there is already a World Sea. At the same time, the World Sea may change under the influence of the immortal formation, so Zuyun temporarily gave up his plans for the Hualong Pond. Before walking to the medicine garden, Zuyun squatted down and looked at the crowd of elixirs shaking their heads at him. Zuyun also had mixed feelings in his heart. How long did they practice before they could speak human words, but Nangang Tianli sucked away so much cultivation in one day. With a sigh, Zuyun said, I will take you to the great universe world later, and you will live well in the great universe world in the future. With a wave of his hand, the entire medicine garden was cut apart out of thin air. Zuyun controlled the medicine garden remotely and let it fly into the small courtyard. Then, he moved his mind and locked the trial platform with his immortal consciousness. Get up. Using immortal power again, the entire trial platform was separated like the medicine garden, flew over the roof of the courtyard wall, and finally approached the small courtyard. Let's go to the great universe world. Zuyun used his other hand to control the medicine garden, and then went to the great universe world through the small courtyard. Wow! The scene in front of him flashed, and Zuyun also went straight to the desolate stone mountain. He thought about it and planted the immortal medicines on the desolate stone mountain first. There are top-grade immortal crystal mines, and perhaps the immortal medicines can grow better. After placing them, Zuyun carried the trial platform and flew to the other side of the world sea. Here it comes. Everyone saw the flying trial platform at first sight, and after exclaiming, they also saw Zuyun below. This is. The pupils of the formation fairy shrank. He actually has a trial platform. Without waiting for the formation fairy to think about it, Zuyun threw the trial platform towards the center of the light column. Boom! The trial platform was like a flying boulder, and it actually smashed directly over the head of the fusion in progress beast. The ground shook, not only the totem pole shook, but the light column also began to shake. It seemed that this smash also affected the totem pole. And the fusion in progress beast was also completely separated by the smash. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzhuan Xianxia. Chapter 1640. The trial platform was directly hit in the middle, and the statues of the 12 demon saints were scattered in all directions, and were thrown under the totem pole by the force of the impact. Boom! A magical scene happened. The statue and the totem pole merged into one, and the golden light glowed at the same time. Everyone was stunned. Even though they had guessed what would happen here, they never thought it would be like this. The demon saint merges into the totem pole, so what will appear? A monster? The 20 golden lights that shot up into the sky also began to converge, and finally they all returned to the totem pole. The totem pole also began to change, and finally, like a piece of tissue paper, it turned into a tattoo on the statue of the demon saint. This seems. The formation immortal next to him was also shocked and incoherent. He seemed to have thought of something, but he couldn't say it out loud. Immediately afterwards, the stone skin that originally cracked to reveal the demon saint's body also cracked suddenly. The 12 demon saints are back to their original state again. Wish immortal. Wish Yun. Owner. Different voices rose up, and they all turned into human forms, and finally landed in front of Zuyun. Ha ha ha, we almost thought we were going to die. Longwu laughed, his eyes filled with tears. It turns out that after they became stone sculptures, their consciousness was always there, and they all knew what they had experienced. Zuyun never gave up on them, and even brought them back to the totem pole. In fact, they were able to return to their original state because Zuyun found the most important thing about their destiny ancestor beast clan. Trial stand. It is through the power of the trial platform that they can be reborn. Great, I didn't expect that either. Zuyun was also extremely excited. The 12 demon saints meant more to him than simply being partners, masters, and servants, or friends. This is the law of destiny, and it is the existence that can make the supreme principle of destiny appear in his universe. How do you feel? He glanced at Longwu, then at the other demon saints, and was surprised to find that the auras of the demon saints had become completely different. It seems. The aura that transcends the demon saint from the lower realm is more like a kind of fairy. The immortal of the demon clan. The trial platform has been lost for a long time. The power of inheritance hidden in it is not a deep accumulation, but it is still used on us. As soon as Longwu finished speaking, Brother Dayang stood up and said, Zhu Xian, in fact, the most important thing is that the trial platform promoted our integration of the totem pole. In other words, now we are the ancestral beasts of faith of the 12 demon clans. That is to say, Zhu Yun said with a smile, can you also use the power of faith? It's almost the same idea, Lao Jing continued, it's just that the power of faith we use does not conflict with your power of faith, Master. Zhu Yun asked, is it because of your relationship with the Destiny Demon clan? Yes, Ji Sheng said with a smile, our Destiny Demon clan is actually the demon immortal and has our own inheritance. However, since we can integrate into this world, we naturally still focus on the world. Just like our ancestors originally existing in the immortal realm, one still needs to believe in the heavenly way of the immortal realm. Zhu Yun thought of another thing and said, then you are demon immortals now. Yes and no. Long Wuodeo, in short, I can't tell clearly at the moment, but Zhu Yun, you can rest assured that from now on this universe world will be our world. And, if it is possible. Speaking of this, there was a hint of pleading on Longwu's face. Zhu Yun saw it and said with a smile, but it doesn't matter. Actually, we are superior to the human race, but for mortals, it does not mean the difference in status. Just say it, no need to worry. Zhu Yun also expressed his stance immediately. There may not be one on the yellow star, but the rest of the lower realms have always followed the theory of destiny and zodiac signs. I wonder, Zhu Yun, have you ever heard of it when you traveled to the fairy world? Destiny, zodiac sign. He knew a little bit about destiny, but he didn't understand it at all. I can't explain it clearly, Longwu thought for a moment and said, in many mortal worlds, mortals calculate their zodiac signs according to the year of their birth, which is based on the order of our 12 demon clans. For example, if a person is born in the year of the rat, the zodiac sign is rat. In the same way, the other zodiac animals corresponding to the same year are the corresponding zodiac animals. I can't explain the meaning of the 12 zodiac animals. In short, the 12 zodiac animals are also based on the principles of chaos. Zhu Yun was confused when he heard it, but he understood the word chaos. 2 rituals, 3 talents, 4 images, 5 elements, until the 9th palace. 9 is the number of the Supreme Sun, and he never knew what other supreme principles were beyond this. Later, I learned about the law of 28 constellations, but this law of constellations was under the law of stars and was a more detailed law, so Zhu Yun did not pay too much attention to it. But at this time, when I heard Longwu mentioning chaos at the same time, he seemed to have a few more thoughts in his mind. Chaos can transform everything. So before 12, is there any law about 11? After 12, is there a rule for 13? In addition, what he first thought was the law of the 24 constellations. Although it was later proven that 24 was wrong and was deliberately misled by the 5 elements immortal. But at this time, Longwu mentioned the 12 zodiac signs. How exactly should we do this? Zhu Yun didn't intend to delve into it, after all, he couldn't find the direction at all. It's up to you to decide the year, Longwu said with a smile. For example, if this year is the year of the rat, then next year will be the year of the ox. Aren't there mortals in this world? Starting from them, the descendants born must record their zodiac signs. 12 years of reincarnation. With the help of heavenly stems and earthly branches, 60 years will be used as a period. We will have a set of rules to teach them. While talking, Longwu also looked at the mortals in the distance. Zhu Yun frowned. I haven't figured out the 12 zodiac signs yet. What are the heavenly stems and earthly branches that I heard, and what is this thing? Longwu turned around and saw Zuyun frowning again. Naturally, he knew that he didn't understand, so he smiled and said, 12 heavenly stems and 12 earthly branches, together they are 24. Then with the positions of the 4 divine beasts add up to 28, which is another combination of the 28 constellations. Zuyun opened his mouth, as if any law could eventually be related to chaos. Originally, he had never been able to figure out the connection between the law of chaos and the law of 28 constellations. Until Tang Liwen saw the yin and yang chaotic circle on Menghui's magic knife and saw the 28 constellation laws that Zuyun couldn't see. Therefore, he was able to get in touch. Nowadays, the 12 zodiac signs have also come into being, and they are also related to the law of chaos. For a moment, his mind was in a mess, until the immortal next to him suddenly spoke.